Chester Borrows.
Yeah, it is a privilege to speak in this debate and to reflect the view that came through from the public and agencies that we really need to do something. In fact, that the public of New Zealand are ready to step up in terms of the provisions of this bill, and they want to have the opportunity to actually hold people to account who choose to close their eyes and to step back from those abhorrent incidents that happen right within view. We heard, for instance, or it was retold to us, the number of names of those on a tragic list of young people who have been abused and murdered in this country. And we, for instance, heard people recite the shock of the neighbours of people like Nia Glassy, who saw her placed on the roof, who saw her on the clothesline, whose children came home and reported the incidents of her being put in a dryer and stood back and did nothing and took no action, and now have to live with the fact that they did that. And this country is coming to terms very clearly with the belief that it is our responsibility to get involved. And although people use the quote about and it was used last night in the House, about requiring a village to raise a family, well, the village is ready to step up and to take that role. I'm pleased to see that we're going to receive support largely from across the House on this bill, and so it needs to be. I also want to reflect on other provisions within the bill that relate to, for instance, the new offences around sexual grooming. And this is a fairly intricate provision, but what it means is that it is a crime for a person who is setting about sexual grooming with somebody in cyberspace who they believe to be a minor, but in fact may be a police officer or other investigator posing as a minor, to turn up in a situation, to arrange a meeting in a situation where they are preparing to commit a crime. Now, the reason why this isn't an offence at the moment is because it's not the penultimate act towards committing that crime, and it doesn't fit within the purview of the offence of preparing to commit a crime under the Summary Offences Act. And so we needed to extend the law to take account of these advances in technology and the ways in which desperate, deviant people set about to use IT in a way to attract their prey through sexual grooming and go on to commit sexual offences. So we had a gap in the law that has been created by technology that hadn't been filled by previous legislation when offenders didn't have this ability to contact victims or supposed victims in order to perpetuate their own deviant behaviour. And so this is a very right and proper amendment or another addition to the Crimes Act, which allows this investigation of this type of crime, and I'm also pleased to see that particular piece of part of this bill did receive wide support. And I understand, or I don't like it, but I understand the Greens were supportive enough of this particular piece, albeit they won't be supporting the bill in its entirety. And I don't necessarily, I don't understand that in any part whatsoever. But the substantial part of this bill is around expanding the duties of care, as previously outlined by the Minister, to bring into line a community responsibility which the community has flagged to the government and previous governments the need for, to extend, for instance, the interest of those people who don't have a familial or a blood relationship as a parent, to extend to those people a need for them to take action when they see crimes being committed or crimeful neglect being committed, or omissions that are occurring that have a detrimental effect, a substantially and criminal detrimental effect on young people, the most vulnerable, or alternative, older people, also the most vulnerable and in need of our care.
Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.